Let's get this done. Get in the zone. What's going on, guys? Mark here, back for another tech video. We're coming at you with a different piece of technology or hardware than you're used to seeing probably on this channel. But I am very pleased to announce that we have the brand new PDP Victrix Pro FS Fight Pad here to review. Just want to say a huge shout out to Victrix and PDP for sending this one out. I tried to get one. They didn't really tell me that one was coming, and then it just showed up in the mail. So I was like very pleased to see that. Very excited to open this up. So let's get right to it. The sleeve comes right off. This is for PlayStation 5, PS4, and PC. I got it in purple. I mean, it also comes in white. The purple is just too cool. It's too different. It looks like Arbiter colors. Not that this is an Xbox thing. Halo, shout out to Halo. Rest in peace as well. I can't even open this box. So we got some dust flaps. It just opens up just like this. Ooh, and it's actually bagged. I guess I can't even see it on a first open. But at the top, we have a bag of wires. It's a USB-C to USB 2.0, and it's also purple. So huge respect to color matching the cable. And I'm just gonna send it. I'm just gonna grab it, one-hand it, boom. So under the unit, we have the joystick, stick, knob, whatever you would like to call it. So opening it up, I have this little black tube. Guess it goes over the fight stick. Victrix fight pad as well. We have something about scanning a QR code and getting 20% off to unlock news, discounts, and product information. Are you trying to sell my data, Victrix? No. Go back to the actual deck here. I'm gonna call it a deck or board. I don't really know what you want to call it, but let's open this bad boy up. So it's actually a pretty nice presentation, pretty nice bag. And oh my God, actually this purple finish right now, here, look at this. This is a nice ass machine here. Look at this thing, how shiny this is. Look at this, let's get the light in there. That is nicely made. That is a nice finish, look at that. Ooh, fresh 8 buttons right on the front. And we have a nice spot for our fight stick. So we're gonna try to install that right now. There's a little rubber cap, I guess. Yep, we just pull it right off. We're gonna put the fight stick on before we take the plastic off the top and do the finishing touches on this unboxing. So I quickly realize I'm very confused. So I'm gonna actually scan this QR code on the thing they gave me because that's gonna be my manual. And although I don't really like manuals, I'm actually gonna use this one. So give me a brief moment. Okay, so after an extreme amount of time, I literally took apart everything. Like I was just looking at it and I was like, what do I have to do here? And I finally figured it out. You have to push the joystick down, right? I mean, let's see if we can get this on camera. But you push the joystick down while holding the metal. I have to do this with one hand because it like goes in. And then see, it's not coming out now. Now you can just go, very nice. It's just very clicky. It ain't coming out, feels very fluid. But we're gonna do the honors right here and peel this plastic off. Oh, all right. You can see here, that's gonna be the final look of the product. Honestly, this thing is beautiful. Very happy to try this thing out. Very well made. It's nothing like cheap plastic. It is solid. If I didn't clarify, it comes with an extra stick because the original stick I placed on the unit is inside here and I took it out already, but there's an Allen wrench that you really have to rip out over here that you will need to kind of tighten the joysticks if you want to do any type of surgery to them. So just keep that in mind. So we have a USB-C at the very top, which doesn't look exactly centered, but I forgive the manufacturing robots for that. So USB-C at the top, and we have a auxiliary jack. So for headsets or microphones, if you're using this as your main controller, we have your headphone jack right there. So it is pretty nice to see. We have X, circle, square, triangle, R1, L1, R2, and L2. We have a PlayStation logo at the top left, and we have a Victrix logo at the top right of the unit. And we have some sort of hook system, but we do have handles. Look at this. And it's rubber. So I can, well, not rubber, but like rubber grips. I love the actual hollow negative space kind of feel. Part of the build. Honestly, just feels great. Anyway, thank you for sticking it out through this unboxing session. This is Mark from noisypixel.net. Stick around for the review of the Victrix Pro FS. There is always a burst of joy when picking up nostalgic gaming hardware. Most of us grew up playing with arcade machines, slapping our hands down on colorful tabletop buttons to input commands. Once you get the hang of it, the Victrix Pro Arcade Fight Stick is a modern, high-quality take on what we grew up using. Whether eating pack dots or sending Hadoukens, I'm more of a Tekken guy, but that's besides the point. Instead, let's dive into why you may want to consider picking up the Victrix Pro FS, assuming you have $399 to spend. When I first opened the box and saw the unit shine in the light for the first time, it put a smile on my face. The Fight Stick is just a cool product to have, even if you don't use it a lot. I picked out mine in purple, but it also comes in white, supporting only PS4, PS5, and PC users. The body is made of aluminum, not plastic, and is generally lightweight, but it's not too light. It feels high grade in your hands, and you feel secure by putting your weight on the unit. Also, the paint glistens and looks polished. Although it's a nitpick, I want to add that the paint was a little uneven on my unit at the top right, allowing me to see the hidden hard edge. Adding to the style, the face buttons are engraved for a texture feel, which is a nice touch. There is also a fancy Victrix logo on the top right of the face, making sure you know who made the Fight Stick. The joystick ball and buttons are made of plastic, Sanwa Denshi to be exact, and the joystick shaft is made of metal. Further, the buttons and joystick ball plastics are easily scuffed, so don't drop your balls on the floor. On the top of the face, the menu and feature buttons are also plasticky, but I guess in a good way. From left to right, starting with the PlayStation button or on PC, this opens the console home menu, which is the same as Windows G. The second button is a menu toggle that almost works like an Alt tab on PC. The button lets you navigate different on-screen menus before selecting your intended window with the X face button. Also, it functions as the share button found on PlayStation. The brightness and RGB control button change the lighting presets built into the hardware. Did I mention that the hollowed out sides of the Pro FS have RGB? Well, it does, and it's awesome. And the light button controls it. You can also hold down the light button and move the joystick up or down to select the intended preset a different way manually. Choose wisely, as some features include breathing, color cycling, reactive input lights, and more. The next audio button allows you to mute your mic by double tapping or holding it down, allowing you to move the stick up or down to change the volume. We will skip over the PlayStation pad button, but we sure have the infamous center pad. The Victrix logo button has a few functions, but the summary is that it mainly allows you to change joystick features from analog to D-pad, program other buttons by holding this down, and click what Pro button to set. It is also mixed into the factory reset feature while functioning as a lockout button, which disables all face menu buttons that we are discussing for zero accidents. Little post statement, the Pro button also is a training button for certain games. Lastly, the options menu button opens up your options dropdown found on PlayStation. That's pretty much it for the buttons, as it wasn't enough already. But it took me a bit to nail down what each button did for all supported hardware. This review primarily took place on PC and PS4. Moving on from the top of the unit, flipping it over offers a whole new world. You first notice the imprinted Victrix logo on the comfortable foam bottom, making it easy to have on your lap. It seems easily impressionable though, so be careful what surface you lay the Pro FS on. On the sides of the Fight Stick, we conveniently see two well-made handles for easy carry, and I use them every time I pick the unit up. These were a great touch that was possible due to the manufactured size. Most importantly, the Victrix Pro FS makes it super easy to access the internals with a simple clip, which features almost a fully toolless design to change out parts. Additionally, on the inside of the door, there is a holder for the provided Allen key wrench and the extra Fight Stick ball and shaft. Unfortunately, this extra metal shaft was the most confusing accessory provided, as I could not see how it could be placed into the Pro FS, and the instructions didn't even mention it. I later discovered that it is a non-removable shaft if you wish to customize it, and the default shaft is removable. I didn't have much interest in customizing or taking this apart in my time with this Fight Stick, but it's straightforward to break it down, as most of the build uses hand clips or clips that lock into place. Just make sure your parts purchased will fit before taking things apart, specifically Sanwa parts for this fight stick. Now that we have spoken about the tried and true build quality and hardware of the Victrix Pro FS, let's talk about performance. The Pro FS boasts the fastest legal response time, and it is a blast to use. If you are comfortable with fighting games, you will thoroughly enjoy ripping combos as the pad does not slow you down at all. The fight stick is placed comfortably close to the set of buttons while leaving a decent amount of open space to move your arms freely when squirming. You don't feel like your arms or wrists will lack free space because the Pro FS has a nice size. Further, the machined angle of the face gives you optimized placement for your wrists, so your fingers perfectly rest on top of the buttons for the fastest press possible. Although the buttons are quick, I feel like something is missing with the clicking experience. For $400, if you aren't giving me RGB buttons, maybe add some audible sound to the buttons to satisfy my ears. Perhaps even a more rigid analog feel to the buttons could work too, but something just feels missing from these buttons. They are just a bit boring to press, if that makes any sense at all. The joystick does not follow this, as it has a fun clicky sound when crossing the catch point of each direction. The joystick also feels swift, yet rigid enough to decipher inputs correctly. Adding to this, the travel distance required to perform inputs via the joystick feels just right. The Sanwa joystick allows enough room when inputting and outputting to put your whole elbow and arm into your motions, making your gaming experience feel more natural. However, it certainly takes practice if you are new to fighting sticks. If you are having trouble inputting, try changing the joystick to analog stick controls, as it defaults to 8-point D-pad. You can do this digitally through the Victrix Pro button mentioned above. Send me a comment if you need some help. The Victrix Pro FS was actually quite frustrating to figure out at first. Typically, I would be one to not read a manual, but this is one instance where I needed it at the most. I didn't understand at all. Yes, they are online, but they aren't very clear on all aspects of the Pro FS. It would be nice if they explained customization more thoroughly, especially the extra fight stick inside the unit, which I couldn't figure out for the life of me. The customer experience put a sour taste in my mouth, and I think this is the only place this product really falls short. Although I mentioned some minor cons, nothing stood out as a significant negative. I'm sure if you are customizing outside of the bounds of Sanwa parts, you might be frustrated with this unit, but overall, I love this thing. And it's made with such care and concern. Noisy Pixel is giving the Victrix Pro Arcade Fight Stick an A-. Yes, it's expensive, but it's top tier in terms of speed, build quality, and style. It's fully functional out of the box without customization, and we'd like to see that. The only things bringing down this review are my customer experience, the time I wasted trying to figure out how this thing works, and maybe the cost. If money weren't a concern, I would go with the Victrix Pro FS. Thank you for watching. Noisy Pixel is a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all of our future content. See ya, nerds.
Noisy Pixel.